You might have heard whispers about a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin that could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A simple silver-colored $1 coin that might just make you a millionaire overnight. Collectors online claim that a few rare versions of this coin have fetched astronomical prices, numbers that sound too good to be true. But is there really a $1,979 coin out there worth that much money? Could one sitting in your pocket, an old drawer, or a family coin jar secretly be worth a fortune? Well, before you get too excited, stay with me till the end, because the truth about this coin's value is not what most people think, and the story behind it is one of the most fascinating tales in U.S. coin history. Let's start at the very beginning. The birth of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. In the late 1970s, the United States Mint decided to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar. The Eisenhower coin, though popular, was large and heavy, not something people want to carry around every day. So, the Mint came up with a new idea, a smaller dollar coin, lighter and more practical for everyday transactions. But they wanted this coin to be more than just money. They wanted it to represent something meaningful, a symbol of progress. So, they chose to feature Susan B. Anthony, the legendary women's rights activist who spent her life fighting for equality and women's suffrage. That decision was groundbreaking. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar became the first U.S. coin to feature a real, historical woman, not a mythical figure like Lady Liberty. It was a bold move that captured the spirit of the time: equality, reform, and recognition of women's contributions to society. Now let's talk about the design. On the obverse front side, the coin features a sharp, detailed portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by Frank Gasparo, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver. Around her portrait, there are 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies, along with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The date, 1979, sits just below her neckline. Flip the coin over to the reverse side, and you'll see something truly special: a bald eagle landing on the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch in its talons. This image wasn't random. It was based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia, celebrating America's incredible achievement of landing on the moon a decade earlier. Above the eagle, you'll see the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one. And at the bottom, the denomination, $1. This coin carried two powerful stories, one of human achievement in space exploration and another of social progress through equality. But despite its meaning and beauty, the coin had a major flaw: its size. The new dollar coin was almost the same diameter and color as the quarter, and this created endless confusion. People accidentally spent it thinking it was 25 cents, and cashiers refused it because customers often complained. This confusion led to frustration, and within just a couple of years, the Susan B. Anthony dollar became one of the shortest-lived coin designs in U.S. history. The coin was minted only from 1979 to 1981, and then once again in 1999 before being permanently replaced by the golden Sacagawea dollar in 2000. But here's where things take an interesting turn. After disappearing from circulation, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar started to gain a kind of legendary status. Rumors began to swirl online. Stories of people finding a rare 1979 coin and selling it for thousands or even millions of dollars. Social media posts, blogs, and videos started claiming that some versions were super rare and that you could retire early if you happen to have one. So let's break this mystery down carefully and reveal the real truth. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was produced at three major U.S. mints. Philadelphia, P. No mint mark or a small p. Denver, D. With a D mint mark. San Francisco, S. Mostly proof coins with an S mint mark. Each mint produced millions of these coins. So, at first glance, they're not rare at all. But within these large mint runs, there are small variations and rare varieties that make some of them special. The most famous and sought after is the 1979 P wide rim or near date variety. Here's how to identify it. On this variety, the outer rim is noticeably thicker and the date, 1979, sits closer to the edge. This version was part of an early production run before the mint adjusted the design to a narrower rim. Because of that, far fewer of these coins were made, making them desirable to collectors. Now, let's talk numbers. The part everyone's waiting for. How much is it worth? If you have a regular 1979 P, D, or S dollar coin that has been in circulation, it's typically worth between $1 and $3. That's right. In most cases, its value is only slightly higher than face value. But if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has never been used and still shines with its original luster, its value can jump to $5 to $15, depending on its grade. Now, for the special ones, the 1979 P wide rim variety. In circulated condition, this coin can fetch $25 to $50. In uncirculated condition, it might be worth $80 to $100, and in some top-graded examples, where the coin looks nearly flawless, it can sell for $200 or even more. If you happen to own a proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, with the S mark, things can get more interesting. These coins were specially struck for collectors, with a mirror-like finish. A 1979 S-Type 1 proof coin usually goes for around $10 to $20, while the Type 2 proof, which is a clearer mint mark, can be worth $50 to $100, depending on condition. And what about those rare errors? A few minting errors exist. For example, coins with off-center strikes, double dies, or weakly struck areas. These unique mistakes can make a coin much more valuable. Some of these error dollars have sold for several hundred or even a few $1,000s at auctions, but again, not millions. So, where do the million-dollar rumors come from? Most of those stories trace back to misunderstandings and online exaggerations. When an extremely rare or error coin sells for a high price, let's say $10,000 or $15,000, people on the internet tend to round it up, twist it, or spread it as a coin sold for millions. But number 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar has ever sold for $1 million. Not one. However, that doesn't mean this coin is worthless. Far from it, because beyond its monetary value, this coin carries immense historical and cultural significance. It represents the courage of Susan B. Anthony, who dedicated her life to fighting for equality. It marks a turning point in U.S. coinage, the first time a real American woman was honored on circulating currency. And it tells the story of a coin that was ahead of its time, both admired and misunderstood. So the truth? The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar might not make you a millionaire, but it is a hidden gem in its own right. If you have one, especially a wide rim or a proof version, it's definitely worth keeping safe. And who knows? As time passes, and as more collectors seek out these early examples, their value might continue to rise, not to millions, but enough to make it a prize collectible in your collection.